Brisgel and David Solomon. You think about the topics, we rant about it.
You know, it's a quiet Friday where I am in South Florida, sunny skies, and you would think the world is a wonderful place and that there is no chaos, there is no insanity, there is peace amongst all of its citizens, and we're all going to work, minding our own business. You know, when you want to go and enjoy yourself, you expect to be able to do just that. That's the liberty you have here in Canada, that David, you have in Canada, I have in the United States, people have in Europe, Israel, and all Western society. Or at least that's the way it should be. You know, we were supposed to start off today's rant, have we lost our minds? And is this the new normal? The divisiveness, right? The hatred, the political, how can I make a statement, the gay anti-gay bill, and set an entire group off a false narrative. David, I think you have more about sticks and stones may break my bones kind of story. What do you got?
Well, look, let's start from where we've been in the last short period of time. I mean, I just don't understand what the hell is wrong with our society today. You mentioned we live in a Western world, a more educated world, and yet hate, racism, comments are abound. But it's even stupider than that. Let's take a situation that happened when Will Smith goes out and attacks Chris Rock on stage. And people are forgiving Will Smith. People are not forgiving Will Smith, but it's a violent reaction towards a comedy joke. I mean, listen, I don't know about you. I grew up on Mel Brooks, who insulted everybody, made fun of everybody, and at a time when everybody just laughed at it. But now, God forbid, you should do something like that because I have the right to violently react. And surprise, surprise, that happened to Dave Chappelle, who was attacked on stage. And now, instead of prosecuting this person, this attacker is getting charged with a misdemeanor. It turns out he didn't really have a gun. It was plastic, but he attacked him on stage. And the reaction, Will Smith gets all the sympathy in the world. Dave Chappelle gets vilified. Why? Well, of all people, Howard Stern, if you could believe it, says people should be ashamed. Because the people didn't respond. Like Will Smith was they felt sorry for him. They went over to him. They made him, oh my God, are you okay? But Dave Chappelle, let's attack Dave Chappelle. Why? Because his politics are different. We've lost our minds. Howie Mandel, the pacifist, is now is afraid to go on stage because of this. I mean, he himself, he's a germaphobe to the nth degree, and he's a funny guy in that way. But he's now afraid to go on stage because if they can attack Dave Chappelle, why won't they attack him? Because we've lost our minds. Let's go on to the next big topic, Roe v. Wade. There is a thought that we heard on Wednesday, Stuart eloquently expressed it, that there's a complete amount of misinformation regarding Roe v. Wade, and protesters are clashing in downtown LA with the police. Again, violent reaction to misinformation. It's justified. It's okay. It's cool. That is the world we're in today. Let alone Black Lives Matter movements, let alone, you crap on me, I get to crap on you. We have completely lost it. And then the final thing that pissed me off was yesterday. I was proud to stand with thousands of Jews and friends of the Jewish community in Montreal to celebrate Israel's 74th birthday. We were accosted verbally by opposers. The Neturei Karta, very Orthodox community who's anti-Israel, which is kind of funny to say, but they wanted to see Israel destroyed. And Palestinians who wanted to see Israel destroyed. There's no dialogue, there's no conversation. It's all about violence, death. You see placards with death to Israel. You see placards with death to Jews. You see all these things. And the interesting thing is that the police who were there with us to protect us spent more time keeping the others away. But while we thought that it was a peaceful opportunity for us to celebrate, a good friend of mine gets assaulted by two Arabs who, because he was walking with a rolled up Israeli flags. There is a video floating around now on social media of him getting hit in the head by these assaulters. Why? Because he carried an Israeli flag. Stuart, today I am beyond anger and spewed because of the violence that people are using to express themselves. This is now acceptable in Western society. Stuart, I don't know.
All right, I've been quiet for 5 minutes and 50 seconds, so we got to mark that down.
For you, I know.
And I haven't yelled yet because someone says that I seem to yell a lot. I think I'm just really loud. I'm not in the studio, so I'm on remote site.
Go
and
ahead,
obviously,
Stuart. Tell us how you feel.
Listen. First of all, there are so many things that are going on today. And, I think we take a moment and think, I don't remember being this bad ever. And, again, I'm turning 51 this weekend. And to be honest with you, are things any worse than they were 40 years ago, 30, 20, 10? And the answer is yes. And the reason why they're so bad is that credibility has gone the way of the dodo birds. And if you talk about these, as I did passionately, the anti-abortion bill, right? Roe v. Wade, which isn't the anti-abortion bill, it's actually about the 14th Amendment and the right for the states to govern themselves. Now, in this modern era, as women are able to vote, as that also was a law passed in the 1960s, that shall still be there, and women will be able to. I find that the sensationalism on racing to get to the front page of being opposed to one side is just bad advertising. And you become like the Disney CEO, who I think may actually resign before the end of the summer, for his disgraceful anti-gay bill, right? Which had nothing to do with anti-gay. So I think that we're dealing with people who don't have the education to actually find the source material of the editorial nonsense that's on all the different networks. No one is innocent, right? Everyone is at fault. Unfortunately, the fault falls more on the president of the United States and his administration for not leading this country and dividing this country even more. And even if you talk about the economics of this country, why are we having such an economic hardship that's going on? And the president blamed China, Putin, it's the shipping companies, the gas companies. I mean, David, I can't hear you.
You're going to hear from friends of ours on the other side of the spectrum that Trump started being divisive. And the fact is that I'm sick and tired.
That was yesterday. He said the mega Trump's
blame. No, but Stuart, blaming someone. I mean, listen, I'm sorry, but I've seen I've lived long enough. I'm not that old, but at 52, I've seen enough protests. Okay. I mean, Trump wasn't around during the O.J. Simpson trial.
But he's probably at fault.
Okay. Trump wasn't around during the Rodney King.
Right? Yeah, sure. Okay?
When there was that absolute violence, when they beat up the trucker. And you're telling me that this isn't new. But the problem is it's being celebrated. It's being promoted. It's being, loved by the media because the media wants the divisiveness. Your president, my prime minister, wants this divisiveness so that they can get reelected. This has nothing to do with saving. Every leader has stood on a dais and said the same thing. I am here to unite the people. And what they've done is promoted hate, violence, and apathy, ignorance, misinformation.
David, you know what? Adolf Hitler stood on a pulpit and said he was going to clean the race, take the money from the Jews and give it to everyone. I mean, if you say a lot of stupid shit, people will go along with the flow. It sounds good. It's like, I'm going to pay off all the student education, that debt that you ran up. Well, now we find out that got a lot of young people to go and vote. Surprise, guys, it won't help you. So again, the whole divisive game, which the Democrats have no shame, and
It's
the
not just the
people on The
Dems.
View don't care.
It's
It
not
is.
just the Dems. Stuart, I got to tell you, I am sorry. And as a conservative, I'm tired. It's not only the Dems. The Dems make things, they're doing it. The media is pushing it. But the fact is that, what I'm sick and tired of hearing is educators, moralists, whatever you want to call them, standing up and saying, we're better than this. We're of a higher society. But when you disagree with me, attack. Verbally, physically. It's okay to burn a police station. It was okay in Minnesota to burn down a bar owned by a black man during a Black Lives Matter, protest because we're angry. It didn't matter that his livelihood was pissed down the window. It didn't matter.
Nope.
It doesn't matter if people who are protesting this supposed overturning of Roe v. Wade can attack police officers. It's okay because I'm angry. And it's okay to assault a person who is free to celebrate and free speech. No, we have to attack those that are against us. We fucking lost our minds. This isn't normal anymore.
No, it's not, David. It's not.
Okay.
And you know what?
And truth of the matter is, when your idiot president and my moronic prime minister stands up on a stage and says, trust me, I'm going to bring us together. No, they're not. Okay, because Biden continues to blame Trump. Trump blames Obama. Obama blamed Bush. Bush has blamed, Clinton. There is no end in the blame game. And there is no end in the blame game here in Canada. And by the way, Canadians are blaming Trump for the racism in Canada. Wow. Should we also blame him for craters on the moon? Like, really? What? This is what's going on. There's no sense. We're not using, where's
Yes, it's called nonsense, David. It's called nonsense.
No, and you know what? When you watch television and you watch the way people disrespect people, and when you watch the news and you hear the commentators disrespecting other people, you've gotten the green light and the license to do the same. You've got the green light to go out and attack people. You have the green light to assault people. Like, why? What the hell is wrong? When Martin Luther King stands up and says, with peace, we should talk. When you've got Gandhi who says we will not use violence, and they achieved more with words than the violence. All violence does is promote more violence. You hate, I hate. You attack, I attack. There is no end to this cycle if that's the case. So who will have the balls to be the first one to say, I'm going to lay down my arms. I'm going to lay down the violence. I'm going to stop attacking. I want a dialogue. I want a discourse.
I got to change the topic because we've been ranting for a while. We have an old friend, Jonathan, who wants to know.
Hi, John. Welcome back.
Why haven't you? I had to give him a shout out because he's been hiding for a very long time. Look, at the end of the day, David, I think it's fairly safe to say that this divisiveness, hatred, and physical behavior and immoral behavior is frankly coming more from the right than the left, than ever before. That was a good
that was a good slip there, yeah.
Yep, the little Freudian slip. But David, it's the end of the week. You know what it means? What time it is?
You know what, Stuart? I got to tell you, I with one last comment, I want to say this. I will frankly commend and applaud those that are willing to talk. And I'm willing to commend those that are willing to put aside this bullshit feelings, stop. And literally, I would love to also see you vote out the haters, vote out the AOCs, vote out, thanks to AOC and her squad. By the way, There is an increase in anti-Semitism in the United States. Now you're saying I'm blaming? Well, yeah, guess what? There is a correlation. So with all due respect, you want to stop the violence, stop the hate, and this is not some pacifistic remark. Enough, people.
Listen, I have one of my loyal subjects who just says, King Stuart, there you go. A little shout out to Yuli. Listen, I wish you all a good weekend. It is the end. It's over. David, we got a whole week ahead of us. Have a good weekend, everyone. Be safe. Stay out of trouble. Check your media. Find the facts. And don't be a stupid idiot and just believe. Talk to you soon.